Also, nobody calls Steph Curry threeses.
Although that's kind of tight, though.
It's kind of dope. I've heard Chef Curry. I've never heard the Human Torch either.
I think I've heard that once.
Isn't that like Final Four? No, Fantastic Four.
Bingo!
Final Four.
The Final Four. Curry was in the Final Four.
The Final Fantastic Four.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all around the world, we bring you another ripping edition of the Dan vs. D Sports and Stuff podcast with the initials DVD, as in DVD player. I'm your player, D with 2 E's, and always beside me, last time, studio left is...
Dan, with an A-N.
Dan, the man he can. What's going on, man?
Oh, feeling really great these days about all things related to basketball.
I think I can. I think I can feel your sarcasm just radiating off of you or something like that. I don't. I knew what was coming. Behind the scenes, but just you saying that, just like I could just feel it. Just like if you was like got into like radioactive waves or something, I'm picturing you as a cartoon character, just radiating green, like you're green light bright or something.
Yes.
Like a Simpsons character or something. I think I remember seeing that with Homer Simpson just glowing green.
It's like the radiation is coming off of me. I guess we need to go there. So I don't even know how to. I don't know what to say. I mean, we're just gonna like have some therapy here.
He about to drop the mic.
So, where do you even start with this? So, I mean, one, I think it's worth, because we well covered in our sort of top of the world first episode back last summer. It was Al worth it.
Yeah.
Which was that was D's idea for that title. It was a good one.
And to splice the final the final seconds.
Yeah, that was good.
I want to memorialize that forever, because we don't know. You just don't know when these championships will come along. So memorialize it forever. Hey.
Yep.
So
it's true. But anyway, banners fly forever. That's whatever. Nobody's ever going to take that away from me. And I think it was all the sweeter because it was with homegrown players. It was something that they tanked. They actually did the process better than Philly. Because Danny Ainge fleeced a very stupid team. And then drafted good players with their draft picks.
Who would have thought that an aging KG, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry would not be a good idea?
I'm just saying. But I mean, it's worth pointing out that was 12 years in the making. That was a long time. That was, I was like graduating college when that trade happened.
Man.
Or no, I guess it was that summer that we graduated was the last hurrah of that team when they took the Heat to 7 games.
Oh, yeah.
And that was also, by the way, that year was the Uncut Gems series against the Sixers.
Ooh. Makes sense.
But anyway, and I mean, by 2016, the Celtics were like fun again because they brought in Brad Stevens to coach the team. And he really turned them into like a decent team, like prematurely before they were probably ready. And he, they saw something in Isaiah Thomas that nobody else saw. And Brad Stevens was able to hide a 5'9" guy on defense.
Mighty Mouse, bro.
And the dude was like, I think top 5 in MVP voting that one year. Like he was awesome.
Yeah. He averaged like a bunch of points per game.
Yeah, he was awesome. And then they beat the 73-1 Warriors towards the end of that year.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a game where IT went nuts at the end. So, that's a whole thing. So I mean, whatever. Yeah, it was like 5 years in the lurch before they were fun again, 4 or 5 years. And that's not the worst thing in the world. But, it was like, realistically, they weren't really ready to be championship contenders until like 22, because those guys really needed to take their lumps, get seasoned. They were too early, and then they kind of underperformed in the middle there in the like Kyrie years. And then they underperformed in the like Kemba Walker years.
Well, hold on though. There was that one outlier when when Kyrie was out, but then the young core just basically was one game away and making the finals.
Almost got to the finals. Yeah, beat LeBron.
Yeah,
but yeah. So all that to say that it's been a long time coming. They did it the right way. All this stuff, and I mean the thing is they also. And again, I feel like I'm just restating stuff that we said in that episode, but
no, it's a good recap, a good summary.
They pulled the trigger when they needed to. They used their resources to bring in awesome veterans to kind of complement all these guys. And it was great. Everything's great.
Yep.
That comes at a price. And one of the prices is being way into the second apron and being a second apron repeat offender or whatever that is, where it's even more money. And so... yeah, they're looking at a $500 million roster next year. And I mean, there's a really good article that came out recently, and it was actually before, and I know we haven't even talked about the Tatum injury yet, but that was before the Tatum injury that Brian Windhorst wrote on ESPN, where he kind of outlined what the financial issues that the Celtics are facing is. And the short version is the team's just revenue for the 2024 season was $470 million, something like that. So it's not hard to do that math, that if you're paying your roster probably somewhere in the neighborhood of that number, and that's your total revenue, you're operating in the red.
Yeah.
No business is going to operate in the red voluntarily.
Nah.
So, and obviously the Celtics sale is actually being finalized right now.
Yeah.
And the new guy is I kept saying hedge fund last episode, and I had to fact check it. It's private equity. He's a private equity executive, and again, what they're known to do is their private equity is known to take over a business, either a successful or a failing business, and sharply cut costs, and often by firing a bunch of people, by stripping out what they see as unessential parts of the production process, whatever. They kind of hollow out the business, and then it continues to operate off of its previous reputation, right? Product quality goes downhill, customer service goes downhill, people still pay because it has a good reputation. At some point, all of that craters, and then they just kind of strip it for parts and move on.
Wow.
But what that does, if you sharply cut costs, it increases profit in the short term.
Yeah.
But, it's sort of like, I don't know, doing a ton of steroids, and then, now you have all these health problems and muscles.
And then not working out, not continue to work out. No, that makes sense. Hey, short-term gain, but then you had the long-term, effects.
But it's almost immediately stuff started getting reported or leaked or whatever that oh yeah, the Celtics are going to look to cut costs next summer.
Yeah.
And then, and then they go into the series with the Knicks, and it was just a shit show.
They couldn't hit their threes.
They shot exactly 25% from three in the first two games. They literally shot 25 of 100.
I mean, that costed them the series right there.
It did, yeah.
And dropping 0-2 in any series is bad.
And here's the thing: their defense was so good, and they were just f***ing the Knicks' offense up so bad that they were up by 20 in both those games, and then just blew it. And
I didn't know that part. Ugh.
Yeah, they were way, way up in both those games, and then just had basically what just happened to the Knicks happened to them. Except that wasn't those weren't high-scoring games.
Wow. Going back to the 90s.
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, and it is one of the, and I hate it because I feel like it juices this narrative that oh, they shoot too many threes, they don't have anything else in their bag, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, this team is built around long-range shooting. Their entire offense is built around this. Yeah. Yes, when they have an off night, it's very ugly.
Yeah.
But like their defense is still incredible. They have other ways to win. They can go to the basket. And again, Tatum is just an all-around incredible player who can, do all those things.
Yeah, they've been doing that. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah,
I remember seeing them when
nobody was bitching and complaining about that last year when they were destroying everybody. Like,
yeah,
anyway.
But the years prior though, where they're like, I don't know, all the threes and this and that. Hey, the narrative was like, hey, can Tatum and Brown coexist and blah blah blah.
And here's the thing, and it's something that Brad Stevens couldn't fix. It's something that Ime Udoka couldn't fix, and it's something that
he could have fixed it, but then he was escorted out because his decision making.
I'm transitioning to another topic here that I think is important to highlight.
All right, hit me.
This is something that none of their coaches have been able to fix, and including now Mazzulla.
Ooh.
There's something with this team and their brains that they just like when they're up by like 10 or 15, they look like the most incredible basketball team ever assembled. When they're like up by 1 in crunch time against a really scrappy like team with really big balls, they look like one of the worst basketball teams you've ever seen.
I remember,
and it's like something about being in those situations. They just completely they forget how to play.
Because I saw that game. Trying to remember what was it? Was it game? Was it game? It was the. It was the game that Tatum had his injury, but that was like before that though. I kept looking up, and Jalen Brunson he had that dog in him. He was giving them the business, and they just melted.
Yep.
He just came in and roared like a lion, and
I watched that game, and it was happening in slow motion. Where it was like again, and that's I hate to say it because it's my team, but like this is why we love sports, because the inferior, obviously less talented team with the swag beating the more talented team that just is like shitting itself. It's incredible to watch on one hand, but it's just so frustrating. And again, this has been an issue with these guys for years. Every iteration of the team has had this problem all the way back to the IT team, really. And they've never been able to fix it. And so the other thing that happened in that game is Tatum was going for a loose ball, and we've seen it 1,000 times, and we sort of have a personal connection to this kind of thing.
Achilles heel.
Because of the Achilles heel episode. Tatum, and we all knew like immediately. And I
held out hope, but you called it like you was spot on immediately.
Was that Magic Monday? Was that why we were
Magic Monday? Yep.
Yeah. We a bunch of our friends, we play Magic on Monday nights.
Like online.
On Discord.
Yeah.
And I had the game on while we were playing.
Me too.
And I saw it happen, and I saw the play live, and then I saw the look on his face and like how in pain he looked, and I was like, guys, Tatum just tore his Achilles.
Like and when I looked at the slow motion of it, him like that sudden like jolt pushing off, it's like you can just see like exactly like where it gave out.
And I know we are experts on Achilles tears now, but Stefania Bell, another lovely ESPN person.
We love Stefania.
She wrote a very, very detailed article about the injury, about the mechanics behind it, about what he's going to face in recovery. If you're curious about that sort of thing, definitely look that up and read it. I'll maybe link it if I remember to. And I mean, he's in good hands. He got surgery from the guy, I think, who also did Kevin Durant's.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the correct thing where they got surgery on it immediately, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get surgery as quickly as possible.
I will say though, like, I wish I was like a pro athlete, because he got his in like 2 days. I had to wait for 10 days just for scheduling. Man, you get the top of the line stuff as a pro.
Yeah. And I guess when you can, pay millions of dollars and fly that one guy in.
And also, like, there's a lot of money riding on that Achilles too, so they had to.
Something like $360 million.
It's like, get this guy under a scalper stat.
And I'll say that, so there's the, like, I love Jayson Tatum. He's my favorite.
JT's awesome.
He's the shit. Again, like,
top 5 player?
I think so.
Because I was saying he was a top 5 player when I was telling like a coworker, like, yeah, that was like a top 5 player that tore his Achilles. So.
And here's the thing. Here's the argument for Tatum, right? Yes, Luka is the quarterback, has been the quarterback of like some of the most efficient offenses in NBA history. He's that dude. He's had a 60-20 game. He's that dude. But
and
like,
he was let go.
But he is
Wink.
He is like less than 0 on defense.
Less than 0?
And like
Luka doesn't play defense?
No. And part of it is it's a little bit of the Harden thing where I think he intentionally is conserving energy on defense to play offense. So
Luka don't play defense at all?
Not really, no. He's just big. That's all he really has.
True. I mean that's more than what like James Harden can say.
But I mean, Jokic is considered kind of a mediocre defender, so who the hell knows?
But he averages a triple.
But like, if you define like best as like all around, Jayson Tatum does literally everything that basketball players are asked to do and does it all really, really well. Like, I think of it in terms of like Madden ratings, like. Luka's like offense is like a 99, but his defense is like a 70. Jayson Tatum, like his offense is like a 90, his defense is like an 85. His rebounding, his playmaking, his being in the right, his like basketball IQ, that's all like a 90. You know what I mean? And so it's like you add all those things together, and it's like even in games where he's not shooting well, all the other shit shows up. He rebounds, he defends, not runs the offense because he's not really the point guard, but he initiates the offense and he creates shots and kicks out to other guys. And like, I don't know, so personally for him, this is very, very sad.
Yeah.
And sad for us because we love watching him play and he's incredible.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, and again, I don't want to be a bummer, but like,
And I mean, it is a bummer moment, though.
You have, and in that same article that Stefania wrote, she outlined, just the sort of long-term outcomes for a bunch of different basketball players that had Achilles injuries.
Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe. Kobe was like 35.
He was on his way out.
He was on his way out.
Yeah.
And he was kind of starting to lose it at that point anyway. But
KD, like his prognosis is good though, because look what he's doing.
And KD has been like MVP level since he came back. He's starting to fade a little bit now, but like, because he's just 38 or whatever.
Well, yeah, because he's been in there since I was in high school. We were in high school, bro.
Yep. But I mean, he had his year off, and then he was like awesome when he came back. Although
he tore his stuff in the finals.
Now he had other injuries the year he came back. So, but he seemed really good when he played. Other guys, there's some guys who were never the same.
Who comes to mind?
It's probably just worth looking at that article
because I'm drawing a blank, but I'm sure once I see the names, like, oh yeah,
somewhere down here, he is young, Klay Thompson.
And
so Klay was never the same defender again. He still could shoot, but
I don't even know if he's like I don't know if it's from age or like from the injury, but I don't think he's a high volume scorer like he used to be.
No. And I mean, he was still a useful player, like on the finals team and stuff.
Yeah, but he wasn't like Klay with a capital K though.
Yeah,
Klay and Steph was a cheat code.
He was not 37 points in a quarter guy anymore.
Yeah, like a healthy Klay, but before that big injury, man, like if they as I said, they don't need KD if they don't blow the 3-1 lead. Like Steph and Klay was all you needed. That was the cheat code within itself. That was seen as unfair. Yep. The Splash Brothers.
Boogie Cousins was never the same.
Oh yeah, Boogie.
But I mean, he's a big man, a little bit of a different position.
Yep.
Anyway, the point is, I think you have to kind of lay
Dame
out there
tore his in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we don't know.
Shoot.
Dame is old too, so that's very sad.
I blame the Trailblazers for wasting his prime. Gosh, such a tragedy.
But suffice to say, a 27-year-old, I don't know, fifth best player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's young. Odds are he will come back and he will still be awesome. But there's always the chance that he's never the same again, that we've seen the best of him already. And that's a massive bummer to contemplate. We're going to be without him for a year, minimum of a year. I think it's possible.
It's like a red shirt year.
Depending on how it goes, it might even bleed into the 26th season. And I mean, yeah, it's just devastating. It is. And I love my team. I'm going to support my team no matter what. It just, again, in the context of the Lakers literally just got fucking handed like 10 more years of championship contention for free, for nothing.
The Rob Pelinka effect, man.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating, right? Because if you're a fan of a team that is not one of the free agent destinations, then the only way to acquire amazing players is to draft them. And we did it the right way, and we basically had it for less than a year, and it was just snatched away.
Man, well...
And now, I mean, it's bad enough that, like, Bontemps is going on the Hoop Collective and saying, the Celtics should consider trading all 4 other starters other than Tatum, including Brown, which I think is madness, but sure, whatever.
Brown, honestly, don't do that because I guess trade everybody else except for Tatum and Brown, because you're gonna need that guy. That will be the ultimate test for Brown. Hey, this is your team for a year. Show us your stuff.
And that's what I was alluding to earlier with the expensive ass roster is
because Brown and Tatum are getting like tandem, like great salaries.
Yeah. They both got their super maxes because remember, Brown just barely made All NBA that one year, and so it made him eligible for a super max.
And he won a Finals MVP.
And he won the Finals MVP. So yeah, those guys are locked in. In all likelihood, I don't see them trading Brown, but the other guys I think are probably fair game. Like
Drew is gone.
Drew is like 34, 35. So I mean, he's going to be what, 36, almost 37 by the time they're ready to like be a championship contender again. So like that doesn't make sense.
Big Al's retiring probably.
Big Al's going to be gone because he's going to retire. He might retire this year. Who knows?
KP's probably gone because of like, KP injury history.
KP can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So, but I was going to say, so Drew got an extension. KP got an extension. Who else? I think Derek White did. I think, and I know the white guy did.
Peyton Pritchard.
Pritchard, who won Sixth Man of the Year this year.
Because
also, another
development,
another incredible developmental story from them.
Remember people thought like, hey, why is he in the rotation to like this guy?
And then he was hitting half court shots in the finals.
And went from that to like just being a great sixth man.
Yep,
he's y'all Tony Crew coach.
Kind of is. So I mean, it's not all is lost, but I think it's a process of grieving this team because the 26-27 Celtics are not going to look anything like this.
No,
they'll still be good. I'm sure they'll be a good team.
They might make they might be like a 7 seed in the playoffs or something.
Oh, next year, yeah. And I mean,
because
okay,
the East is kind of like they're kind of like cupcakes.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is just be better than half the teams.
I was gonna say, yeah. If you can have like a 42-40, you can be a 7 seed.
Sure, you could be third. Like hold on, you could be like what? You could be below 500, make the playoffs. If the Hornets can somehow like get in the play-in game, or my Bulls can somehow get in the play-in and be under 500, the Celtics without Tatum will make the playoffs.
Probably. And yeah, it just sucks. And and I understand and I get it. And Derek White too. He's like 31, 32, so like he's getting older. It's just sad. It's real sad. And the the NBA has been so aggressive with changing the rules to make it very, very difficult to keep championship teams together because they want this constant churn of guys moving around, guys jumping ship. And, you have the cycle of like teams with stars that like cycle out of their depth and then they suck because they don't have depth. And then the depth goes to other teams. And then you have teams that try to win with only depth and no stars, like the Rockets.
Or the grit and grind Grizzlies.
Yeah. We don't get the respect that these guys deserve. Mike Conley doesn't go crazy. He has class. And he just plays the game. But I'm not going to let them treat us that way. I'm not going to let them rook us. Take that for data. I love that.
Man.
Fizdale got such a raw deal. He was a good coach.
Take that for data. Was he ahead of his time before like the analytics came and truly hit?
I think that was around that time. That was like 2014-ish.
Not at its like, peak of analytics, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was coming. It was creeping in. Yeah.
That was the beginning of the Warriors. That was the beginning of Maury Ball and all that stuff. So yeah. James Harden's shot chart looking like a smiley face.
Maury Ball. You said what? Maury Ball?
Yeah.
Like
threes and layups. Layups, and free throws.
Man. Maury Ball is just like he just throws a ball like Maury Ball like involving China. Jeez. I just like what
and he's now following in the illustrious Sam Hinkie's footsteps.
It's a circle of life, man.
It really is.
It's just funny, just like, yeah. Like the most, like I think it was our last episode. It's like, yeah, he pissed off China, the government China, and is gone. I was like, that's so metal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yao Ming.
With like being very innocuous, but whatever.
Man. So I was gonna. So anyways, what I was gonna say. Obviously, this is much worse, and but I'm gonna try to, I guess, empathize with you on this. Obviously, the stakes were lower, like from this moment I'm comparing this to, but kind of has like that somber moment of like, I guess maybe that's not the word, but like it has like that uneasy feeling, like from what I can find relatable with the Chicago Bulls and Derrick Rose.
Ooh, that's a good
number one seed. Yep. He tore it in that game one.
Wasn't that the year he got his MVP too?
Yes.
And I think they announced the MVP after he already got hurt, right?
No, I think it was before.
Okay.
But like he tore it.
Yeah, they did announce it way earlier back then.
Yep. And then it would be hilarious if he's like on crutches and accepted an award. No, I remember he was healthy before that. Yeah. But we were supposed to stomp the Sixers, but then we got upset because we literally lost our leader. Yeah. And he was never the same. And honestly, the team was never the same.
Yeah.
And then we basically got scrapped for parts. And then we just fell into purgatory, which to this day, I don't think we've ever recovered from.
Nope.
Like, you guys will be all right.
Fire Garpax.
Yeah, Garpax. Shoot, I think we're saying, I think there was like little like whispers of like fire Garpax then. But but that's when it just put it full swing.
Yeah.
We've never recovered since then.
Nope.
You guys will be all right. But the fact, that feeling though, that feeling of dread when that happened, the world stopped, especially in Chicago. I remember like that commercial when like, hey, all in, when you just see people in freeze frame just stop, and they show like the image of Rose, like that image of him on the ground with holding his knee.
And what was that? That was an ACL, right?
Yeah.
But I think the thing with him was that his game was so predicated on like speed and athleticism.
He was so explosive.
Losing even 10% of that like turned him into like just an okay guy instead of like an MVP.
Well, the problem was he did something to his knee again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had multiple knee stuff. That was just the first. That was just the first big one. And then he was never the same, but he was still good. But then he had another issue, and then all that momentum, like that MVP momentum, was just gone. Yeah. And then eventually, we were like, I mean, you had we were trying to keep things together. That's when it became Jimmy Butler's team. And then we brought in like D-Wade and Rondo. We probably would have won the first round if Rondo didn't go down. But then after that, Wade leaves. And then
Rondo had
Jimmy
the Celtics
Butler.
number.
Then we trade. Huh?
Rondo had the Celtics number.
Yep. And then we traded him to the Timberwolves. I remember that. I remember Urinating Tree saying you traded Jimmy Butler for some old double bubble and for some double bubble and some old Tupac CDs. You're fucked.
And I remember because that was around the time that we were mad because Danny Ainge had like made a really lucrative offer to them, like multiple first round picks, and they didn't take it.
Oh yeah.
And then they traded him for less to another team. And I was so mad at the time.
I think y'all might have dodged a bullet, but then again, you did end up getting Kyrie for those years and of toxicity. So
I was going to say, given the choice between him and Kyrie, ugh.
Well, the thing is, things didn't go off the rails until like the young core overperformed within his absence, and that's when the murmurs start coming in of like, ooh, maybe we don't need that guy, and then that probably must have pissed him off.
Well, I think too. I think he really, when he went to the Celtics from the Cavs, you know, he didn't like being LeBron's number 2. He wanted his own team, and so he really saw the Celtics as his team. And so seeing all those guys make that run without him, you know, I think there was a lot of stories about him coming back in the next year. And, you know, supposedly he was having like some personal issues with like his family at the time too. Who knows? You know, people are complicated.
Ain't that the truth?
But yeah, it was like he was like trying to like reestablish himself as like a locker room, you know, like a leader. And, you know, when somebody's like not a leader and they think they are, you know, everybody's had like a crappy boss who like thinks they have to like assert authority by like, whatever, chewing people out or just being an idiot. And that was Kyrie. Like, and they didn't like it because they were like, yeah, fuck you, man. Like we made this run without you.
I think they just kind of like moved on.
And then also remember that they brought in Hayward around that time, and he blew out his ankle.
And not even the first game.
5 minutes into the first game. And then he was never the same.
Yeah, ask me how I know because he went to the Hornets.
Yep. And that's the thing. And so he came back, and that was the other cause of friction in that team, is that Stevens was trying to like play him back into shape, recovering from that catastrophic injury, and he wasn't that good. And so he was getting minutes over better players, frankly. And guys didn't like that either.
Well, also, I guess, it's not nepotism, but you know, nepotism adjacent because
he played for Stevens in college
and Butler. Yep. So he had that connection. So,
but anyways, yeah.
But yeah, that's the best way I could that was like one of those label comparisons, just like, you know,
I think
marquee player here and then marquee player here. So
yeah. And I mean that night,
because that hurt me, bro.
Yeah, that night felt a lot more like KD going down in the finals.
Ooh,
and we had an episode of basically therapy about that at the time too, because it was just such a bizarre, surreal night, and people have been like, you know, and that's always been the thing with KD, right? Is his like thin-skinnedness,
burner accounts and all, but
his
respect the hell of him as a player.
Well, yeah, like him being a little thin-skinned, and like people in the media, and really more like fans. The media wasn't really doing this, but like fans were definitely being like, oh, he doesn't want to risk his leg because, you know, he's going to be a free agent and he wants to, you know, be healthy next season and all this stuff. And, you know, again, the Warriors, and I don't know. I mean, who the hell knows? I'm sure the 30 for 30 on that will be fascinating whenever that comes out. But
oh my gosh,
but like,
can't wait.
But like, yeah, and it was all the context of that, and then he came out, and the literal worst possible thing happened, and Bob Myers was crying at the podium and all that stuff, and it was like, you know, he said blame me, and then gave a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't blame him, and you know. All that stuff. And anyway,
the true kill shot. Well, that was a big kill shot, but the last kill shot was like Klay Thompson going down, and then Curry was just on his own, passing the ball to Jonas Jerebko. I'm like, I've noticed in like previous, I guess past episodes, I've referenced Jonas Jerebko. He's kind of like a little like mid like punching bag, but like I show some love for Jonas Jerebko. So
I don't know. I mean, other instances of like a team's best player going down, I think maybe the hopeful one is like when Tom Brady went down.
Bingo.
And then,
Just thinking that.
The 2009 Patriots were like, they were up and down, but they made the playoffs. And then by like 10, they
didn't make the playoffs because like when we had Castle, we were like the first 11 win team to like not make the playoffs. Correct.
The Castle team didn't make the playoffs when Brady was hurt. I'm saying the next year when Brady came back, they made the playoffs again.
Oh, is that the one when we got like absolutely blasted by the Ravens?
That was when they got whacked by the Ravens. They got whacked by those wascally wabbits.
That would have been better. I just see the image of just like Ray Rice just like flexing. He's screaming and flexing. I was like, ooh, that image just like lives in my head forever when I think about that game. Ooh, ripped like 80 some yards.
Talk about an image that hasn't aged well.
Ooh. Well, he stayed out of the news though. I hear he's doing pretty good. Him and his wife now.
They stayed married, right?
Yeah. So. Well, I haven't heard any. I was watching like this documentary with this guy that does like these video essays about sports and stuff. Flimlo Raps. He's a talented brother. But apparently, like I think he did this like video like a few years ago or something. But like they were together and stuff, and it seemed like they were living a happy married life. So, I guess hate the circumstances and everything like that. And normally, things, people split and stuff, but maybe this is a rare situation where they stuck together and he learned his lessons and everything and self-improvement, all that stuff. I don't know. So
one can only hope.
Yeah. Because the alternative is, well, yikes. So,
well, Al, back to football.
Yeah, man. I will say though, shit happens.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, that's
Again, he's got youth on his side.
He does.
His game is like, this is not going to be like a D-Rose situation. Tatum is athletic, but he doesn't rely on that.
Yeah, he's got that immaculate Drew Hanlon jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
He's got again, he does everything. He passes, he defends. He rebounds.
Plus, he got them long arms and stuff.
Yeah.
So
he's a freaking whirling dervish of limbs.
Freak of nature.
There. Yeah.
He's like those car cells, like wavy things.
Yeah.
But he will be okay. Like stuff like this happens, and sometimes players don't want up the same, and others come back and perform at, pick up where they left off. So we don't know. But I will say, in my gut, I think he's going to be okay. Don't rush this. And to put in perspective, I'm on month 8 and, it's probably obviously different for like a professional versus like a civilian like myself. But my doctor told me like, no high impact stuff until like until the next follow up, which will be in a couple of weeks. So that was like I think it was like a 6 month like reeval, and then do another 3 months. So yeah. So doing sport activities like that, like was minimum the 9 month part. Now, granted, I could have not honored that. True. But it's better that you do because I still definitely don't feel the 100%. So it is still a very sensitive injury. So if that's, they might have them like doing stuff much sooner and everything like that, but with heavy supervision, because if you don't, then you'll just end up re-injuring it and then have setbacks. Ask Deshaun Watson about that. Yeah. So I don't know when they'll have him like do like some physical activity, but yeah, it's going to take months before he can like actually I guess, start like doing like some real training or something. So
yeah. And so it's gonna, and they generally say like the first season back, you're like 70-80% of what you used to be. And it's like a full year after that before you're really like,
Yeah.
And we'll see, we'll just have to see. And, there's obviously the like psychological part of it too, as we've extensively covered, learning to trust it again. Learning to, and for him, I mean, you have to like get back to being one of the best basketball players in the freaking world. And that's a whole other story, and again, athletes have very, very unique brains. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
And to be able to do what they do.
Yeah. You gotta be a Slytherin.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really, I mean, you have to have like, I feel like it's like unflinching, unwavering, like self-confidence.
Well, then we just talked about like in a previous episode, you have to like have that mentality to be a pro. Because like, look at it this way, even the 12th man like on the bench was like at one point big man on campus.
Was his high school's Michael Jordan. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Or if you come from overseas, then you was like your country's Michael Jordan, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. You were your high school's Nikola Jokic.
Yes. So
the Joker.
Yes. But hate that it happened, but I think a brighter path is ahead. But in the meantime, Jayson Tatum, get well soon. And you'll come back better than ever.
And here's the thing. You know what? Couple of positive things. One, he got his contract before this.
Yes.
So regardless of what happens,
get paid.
He could never pay. Well, the team has insurance on the contract, so that's how they get through it. But but he's got his money, and he'll get his money no matter what, regardless of what happens. And that's good for him. His kid. Little Deuce is set for life.
Yes.
Little Deuce's son is set for life.
Yes.
Or daughter.
Yeah.
So, that's good for them. And hey, for the team, we get to see an alternate universe where Jaylen Brown is the number one guy.
Yeah.
And that might give him some like valuable experience as being the guy.
Yeah.
And maybe that will help them later on. Who knows? But,
or he carries that to like God forbid, or universe forbid, he carries that over to like a new team or something.
Possibly.
Yeah. I feel like eventually Brown will move on. Brown and the Celtics might mutually move on eventually, and then he get his own team. I don't know.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I don't.
But who knows?
Yeah. I think that might be a thing he wants eventually, but like.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I don't think he's good enough to be the best player on a team.
Well, he'll have his shot next year to see the.
I was going to say, yeah. I think, and I mean, the rest of the league will be watching too.
Yeah,
you're
auditioning for.
Maybe that guy is bigger than his role.
Maybe.
And it depends. I mean, the year. What was it? It was the year after Shaq left the Lakers, and it was just Kobe, and Kobe averaged 35, and they were like barely a playoff team. That kind of thing. Or, early in Devin Booker's career when he was scoring 70 points because the team had nobody else.
Wow, they really swung and missed on that Dragan Bender pick, didn't they?
God. But his name was Bender.
Unless he's robotic, nah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, Bender couldn't be a globetrotter, so we know that you can't really do basketball.
Oh, that was an episode. Man, I gotta go back and look at that.
Yep. Anyway. No, I am in a grieving process, and I have to accept that, again, like for all intents and purposes, the chapter is closed on this team really probably 2 months before I thought it would. And that's, I hate to say it, and maybe we're doing DeeTalks early, but like, bro, that's life sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and we've all been through it. You think that you have something, a future, whatever, laid out for you, and then it falls apart. It gets taken away from you, sometimes suddenly, sometimes slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to grieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Grieve the life that you thought you were going to have. And then you pick up the pieces and, okay, what life am I going to have now?
Yeah. I mean, remember Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
So,
and
sometimes the only way out is through.
It really does all go back to Al Pacino's speech in A Given Sunday. You know, if I'm going to have any life anymore, I have to do the thing.
Man.
You gotta scratch and claw with your fingernails.
You gotta fight. When we want to die for that inch. Look to the guy to your left and the guy to the right. Are they willing to die with you for that inch?
That's football, guys. And that's life. What are you going to do?
Man. Like, it was so powerful, though, like that scene. Remember when they had that one-on-one, like, dinner and conversation at Tony D's, like, house. And Willie Beeman is like, they have like that conversation. And Willie like admits like, yeah, I don't really listen to a word that you say in them pregame speeches. And then there was just that potent moment when he just like, he comes from the back and it just walks right to the front of the locker room to hear it because those words resonated with him. So
yeah. Well, it's also too. Again, that's such a good movie. But
I was listening. I just still remember the flushing of the toilet with the guys with the towels, and all of a sudden the towels aren't there in front of urinals.
But because like it has an ambiguous ending too, because there's like the sort of mystery of like I think it's his shoulder or whatever that we're not really sure like if it's like the kind of thing where like he could get injured in the future, and so it's it kind of leaves him with the message of I guess you just have to make the best of this moment because you never know when it's going to end.
Yeah, because I think he had like that. He had the wake up calls, from LT's character or something. Yep. Yeah, and he's like, "What are you going to do when it's like, hey, no more money, no more women, no more dream." It's like that's how you determine you being a man. Like how you gonna determine and like how you gonna carry on with that. And I love how he was practicing throwing. You see him kind of like moving his shoulder, kind of grasping at it. Yep. He's like, "Hey, I was like, thinking of like talking to the specialist," and then like the coach is like, "Tony is gone," and then you just see like Willie just standing there like in like the on the football field just by himself. He's like, "I'm scared." Ooh, there's so many gems in that movie.
And that's how the movie ends. Like,
well, it ends with the press conference.
Oh yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where it leaves his plot line.
Woo.
And
man, I like how it makes you like fill in the blanks of like you determine what might happen.
And I guess the other thing to close on with regards to the Celtics, and that's why I brought up the mental, like this team's like fatal flaw of like sort of like just kind of losing its focus. Because the problem is, and again, nobody cares, right? Because like the Warriors fell apart because of injuries in the 2019 finals.
Yeah, we went over that in one of the previous episodes when the basketball guys just went zap.
Yep. And I mean, so that nothing could possibly make that championship less meaningful for Raptors fans. Everybody remembers what a fun time that was for everybody, and it was just a great time, and Kawhi was on top of the world.
And then he left them.
And Masai Ujiri was a genius, and then he wasn't. But, so I mean, here, my fear is, last year, nobody picked the Celtics to win the title last year going into the playoffs. Everybody was like, oh, it's going to be the Nuggets again. It's going to be somebody else. Almost everybody was picking the Mavericks to beat the Celtics in the finals.
Oh my gosh.
Because again, like people just had such low confidence in them because of their history of like choking in big moments.
Like that one against the Warriors, that should have been their chip. We've talked about that.
Yeah. and that's the thing.
Steph just went straight up nuclear.
And here's the thing, even that season, they were like 500 with 50 games into the season.
Oh, yeah.
And then they went on a run.
Yeah, they flipped the
after
switch.
Udoka kind of like challenged the team a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, my fear is like that this team is going to be remembered as like, oh, they only broke through the 1 year when everybody else got hurt. And, you know, they really weren't actually that good and blah, 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 blah. I think that's horseshit.
I mean, if anything, like, if you're going to do that, you better put a big fat asterisk on the Lakers.
I was gonna say, and I have been a long defender of that it's a real championship. It counts. An NBA champion was crowned that year. Yes, it was in sort of weird circumstances, but like the guys were all still playing basketball.
True, but it
was the same size ball. It was the same size court. LeBron was still the same guy.
Just took away the travel, and plus they only made the finals one time with that nucleus.
They did.
So,
and I mean, that is the dark side of LeGM, is that's mostly his fault and Rob Pelinka's fault. Because I mean, that team was basically just as good the next year, and then what was it? They got hurt. Did LeBron get hurt? Somebody got hurt.
Might have been LeBron.
And then they lost to the Suns.
Oh yeah, the Suns.
And then the Suns made the finals run, and they had their moment in the sun, and they got blown up.
Yes.
Fantasy bought the team and then blew it up.
Yep. I mean, you can't write you can't make this stuff up. I was gonna say, and then Dallas like had an awesome team, and then they blew it up.
I was gonna say, so let's we'll slice over to that topic now. Speaking of things you can't make up, the NBA draft lottery happened.
Let me tell you here.
Go for it. I've been waiting for this.
I think the NBA lottery might be a little rigged.
I want to hear this argument.
A little rigged.
Convince me.
Because I mean, I'm just going from sheer emotion. Ain't gonna be no facts or nothing based on. But let me tell you this. Okay, I'm a Bulls fan. Look, I'm a beneficiary of the lottery BS. They were the 8th worst team that year. That 1 year when they won that draft lottery to get Derrick Rose. Like, giveth and then you taketh with his knee, where I've been mentioned like a little bit ago. But less about the Bulls. I'm not a big fan, but like I like the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh boy!
Remember when Jordan? It's all interconnected. Jordan decided to like construct a horrific roster to get as many ping pong balls as possible to get AD. What happened? They drew number 2. Number 2, they drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. While the Pelicans, who were the original Charlotte Hornets, then became New Orleans Hornets, then it became the Pelicans for whatever reason, and then pawned the name right back to the Charlotte. That was their chance to they were New Orleans Hornets then.
Yep, they were.
And then we were the Bobcats.
Yep.
So they were trying to get AD because there were jokes of like, hey, you won the national championship. Hey, don't smile too much. You'll be a Bobcat soon. That didn't happen. And then last year, Wemby should have only gone to one team that was desperate for a big star, a generational talent. He goes to the Spurs. And then what was it? And they picked number 2. They get Brandon Miller, and he had his own controversy and blah blah blah. And I'm not going to get into it.
Whatever.
Google it, And people had the audacity to like blast the female reporter for mentioning that she was doing her fucking job. Hey, he's connected to a murder. She's going to talk about it. Any reporter would have talked about that. That pissed me off seeing that. People are like, oh, women reporters, oh, she's just trying to keep a black man down. He did the shit. Get over it. Sorry. I hated that. It's like, what is a reporter supposed to talk about? Whether she was female or male, white, black, who cares? It was his gun that was used in a compass to kill somebody, a kid's mother. And he's off limits to talk about? Sorry.
Well,
going off the rails here,
he's not off limits to talk about, but remember, it's been well documented what you are when you say facts.
I mean, the facts are there.
I'm just saying all reporters are biased.
Yeah,
all news is biased.
Don't get me started on that. But
I know.
The fact that people are talking about, hey, will he play in the NCAA tournament while a kid would no longer have his mother? And it's like, oh, he's getting drafted. Oh, how dare you mention that off the field stuff? A kid doesn't have his mother anymore. Man, no. Man, fuck y'all feelings. Fuck whatever you think need to be talked about.
They should have been like Florida and just successfully hide his off the field stuff like they did with Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. Or people from Florida State. Yeah. But
or that.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I just went off the rails there. Like I had to get that off my chest because I always I think it was like Malika Andrews. Like people just have beef with her. And I just don't get it. She was doing her job. Anybody would have talked about that, but whatever. But that's not the point. So they drafted Brandon Miller, whatever, but should have had Wemby. Then Cooper Flagg is the flagship guy. You were one of the worst teams in the league. Charlotte gets 4th. And who gets number 1? The team that literally traded away a generational talent. They literally offloaded and reloaded. So tell me, how in the living hell Charlotte don't get one of those number 1 picks? How? I don't think they've had like a number 1 pick since the 90s. And I think that might have been like Larry Johnson or like Lonzo Mourning or somebody. I don't know if those were number 1 picks, but we can go and check it or something. But they ain't had a number 1 pick, I think, since the 90s or something. But
yeah.
How?
It's bad.
How do the Hornets not get a number 1 pick? If you've seen their team play, they deserve one of those. Just one of those.
Yep.
And you can't I feel like the drafting lottery is rigged because explain how Dallas gets it. And they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
They don't. No,
they really don't.
They really don't deserve it. God, it just really pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah, it ticks me off, pisses me off. But I will say, Dallas, I mean, they got. I want to hear what you have to say.
The bottom Sixers got 3rd.
They'll find a way to screw up the pick.
But so we're talking about Bontemps again. Bontemps went on the Hoop Collective and I think had the correct take about this, which is this is bad for the league. Because you have team, because look at 4 through 6. You've got the Hornets.
They were a terrible team.
The Jazz.
They were a terrible team.
And the Wizards.
And they were like top. They were like in the top 5 worst teams.
What were we just talking about? Those 3 teams are never, ever, ever going to sign Luka in free agency or some other star player in free agency.
Heck,
they're not going to be able to do it.
Not even like Chicago, and that's like a decent market team.
Every single one of those guys, if they ever hit free agency, they're going to go to LA or they're going to go to Miami or they're going to go to
New York.
That's just how it works.
And then sprinkle in some Boston.
No. The Celtics have never been a free agent destination ever.
KG and Ray Allen.
They traded for KG.
Okay.
And they traded for Ray Allen.
Okay. But they wanted to go there, so.
They did. But my point being is, so if you're one of those teams, again, but particularly one of these like really small time teams.
Yeah, sorry, Charlotte.
The only path to basically to relevance in the NBA, i.e. having a superstar player, is drafting one.
And if you suck at drafting, then you're just all the way screwed.
And so,
i.e. Charlotte.
and there are three franchises that supposedly have done it the right, quote unquote, right way, right? They've torn it down to the studs. They've, shed all the bad contract, or they've taken on bad contracts to acquire draft picks, all that shit that you're supposed to do to like do the process.
And then you get like a decent, then you get like get a solid player, but then i.e. LaMelo Ball, but you waste their talents and they're just going to go, springboard to the bigger markets anyway, because hey, they're tired of being on a perennial loser and want to get more money.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So it's just, the margin for error for those franchises is next to nothing.
Yes.
And think about how many things had to go right for the Bucks to get that one championship with Giannis, where they had all the different things, and they had, first off, they hit on like a 15th overall pick, like crazy dart throw developmental pick.
Yeah, he was seen as like a project.
Yeah.
And he developed.
And then he also grew like several inches after that, which is...
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was not done growing when they drafted him. That's how young he was.
What was he, like 19?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just bad for the league. The top three picks all went to these like legacy franchises that are either on the come up or are already in some form of contention.
To be fair, though,
and then obviously the Mavericks, who, and obviously now the conspiracy people are going nuts because they're like, oh well, they were promised the number one pick in exchange for trading Luka to the Lakers, and it's like,
I slightly believe that. The way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised. I was going to say this about the Dallas Mavericks. So they got the number one pick. Okay, I'll put my saltiness to the side because I want my Bulls and I want my Hornets to do well, but whatever.
It is funny that now I'm in the position of I have to root for Cooper Flagg to fail in the NBA.
Now here's the thing,
to punish the Mavericks.
Okay, I'm not. The pessimist in me wants to do that, but the kid doesn't deserve that. Like Cooper Flagg, I'm like. Here's the thing.
He's been getting hyped for like 3 years.
He has been, and some of it is rightfully so. Some of it. So I mean, when you got like a consensus number one overall pick, I mean that just comes with the territory. And he seems like he's handling it with grace. So kid's doing good, and I saw him perform in college. I mean, go against my team's arch nemesis.
The Dookies, baby!
Yeah, and the rest of his team let him down and basically took a championship from him because they didn't know how to like inbound a ball. But anyway, and he balled out in that game too. But and he also played with like a bum ankle too, so he was not like 100%. So he got like 25 points and like I think he had like at least like double. I think he nearly had like a triple double or something like that. I can't remember. I know he had at least a double double. But anyways, beside the point. I'm rooting for Cooper Flagg. Like I don't want him to fail, and I want him to do great. And hey, I would like for Dallas to. I mean, hopefully it turns out to be a good pick for him. But even if he balls out and he measures up to that number one overall pick status, I don't think it's not going to come up close to the echelon that Luka is or what they gave up to get him. That I don't think it's, even if he plays up to his potential, I still don't think he reaches Luka's status. I don't. I
doubt it.
So they basically trade in. I mean, he'll still be inferior to what they gave up. Let's talk about the Mavericks though. After Dirk, what have they done since Dirk? Other than drafting Luka, what has that team done post Dirk?
Here's the funny thing. I mean, what
have they been building?
They went through this weird time where they cycled through a bunch of different number twos with Luka, one of them being Jalen Brunson, who they drafted in the same draft.
And and he was like a backup point guard for them.
Yep.
And I was
and he's become, he's become what he's become.
Like the fact is, this team, this franchise has let go of Jalen Brunson, who is now who grew to be a world beater. And now you give up Luka, who is and will be a world beater for the next decade.
Funny too, just brief side note that everybody said the Knicks overpaid for Brunson when they signed him.
I was one of those people too.
And now that's one of the best contracts in the NBA.
I was one of those people because I can only go by the optics from what I saw at Dallas.
But hey, you know what? I mean, isn't that the whole thing, right? Like buying low on something that when the Celtics brought in IT, like buying low on something that you see that nobody else seems to see.
Yeah. Plus I think plus Brunson, when he came into the league, like I knew he was always solid in college, but I think he kind of had like the knock against him because we can look it up. I think he was a 4-year player.
Yeah,
he was a 4-year player in Villanova.
That's one.
And then
he's also kind of short.
Is he? He's short? He can't be that short. He got to be at least like 6'2".
He is 6'2".
Okay. I guess I always in my mind
I always thought Steph Curry was really short too, and Steph Curry's like 6'4".
But 6'2" is still kind of
6'2". There you go.
6'2" is still kind of short in the NBA.
It's kind of short for the NBA.
Like Kemba Walker was short.
Oh, it's that Brunson's like 190 pounds, so he does not look like he's 190 pounds because he looks like he's like a freaking like
a tank.
He looks like a linebacker to me. A running back.
You don't mess with big bad Brunson. But my point is
also he averaged 26 points this year.
Yes, he's that dude. But my point is, ever since, with the exception of them drafting Luka, post Dirk, I haven't really seen them like building towards something. What is their identity? What's the end game here? It's like they got Luka, they lucked up with him because it was like, hey, him or Trae Young, whatever. Boy, they fleeced the Hawks there. But other than like them going like win now, bringing in Kyrie like to pair with Luka, I don't know what they're trying to build as a franchise.
The funny thing is, just to tag on Nico Harrison a little bit, the Kyrie move was him drafting Derek Lively.
That's the only young piece that they really have, and it is Lively.
And it's like PJ Washington he brought in too. So like all those role players on last year's team, that was all Nico Harrison.
Yes.
So
PJ was a good pickup.
That's what's so weird about like because he really kind of got the like genius tag a little bit obviously prematurely because then he like set it on fire and danced on it.
He just like sabotaged it, man.
Yeah. But
it's like someone gave him like, I bet you won't do this, and he just turned and said, hold my beer or bet. But I don't know what they're building because look at, even if they get Cooper Flagg to perform at number 1 pick status, other than Derek Lively, what building blocks do they have? They got Kyrie, who's on his way out. Kyrie's been in the league since like college.
He was the first overall pick in 2011.
Yes, and 2011 was a long time ago. From perspective, Cam Newton was like drafted in 2011. He's been out of the league.
Yeah,
I know football years and stuff and all them hits and stuff, but still, Kyrie is closer to on his way out than not. AD is never going to be the same.
Nope.
So that was basically a salary dump. Yep. So, who on the roster scares you right now?
No defense wins championships.
Where's the defense at?
Why did the Mavericks think he was better than Luka? Defense wins championships.
But where's the defense? Who's providing the defense? Lively? Maybe? Because it ain't AD anymore. I mean, he can be serviceable, but it ain't coming from him anymore. Kyrie, we might give him some steals, but he's closer over the hill than not. If you're going to because what bothers me the most is you literally dump a generational talent, like a player that probably comes around maybe like once every 50 years. and you have no contingency plan. Your contingency plan, like, let's just say they planned it out as like, oh yeah, Cooper Flagg is our contingency plan. Like, say, like, it wasn't guaranteed, but that was what they were aiming for. But they got him.
No, but they very obviously went into this without a plan.
Yeah, like, even if that was the plan, that's still a lousy contingency plan because we don't know if he's going to pan out. And if he does pan out, what's saying he's going to reach that level that Luka is?
But he's also 19. So by the time, even if he's Jayson Tatum, by the time he's ready to like really, again, this is like a well-documented thing that so many great players don't actually win their first chip until age 27 or later.
That's true.
So Jordan famously.
Yeah.
He had many, many years of like futility before he got the right pieces around him and Jerry Krause and everything. But
Scottie Pippen.
Yep. And all the other guys. So, okay, even if you say, so let's say Cooper Flagg is Jayson Tatum and he's ready to be a championship contender by 25. That's 5 years from now. AD is what, 40? He's not going to be in the NBA then.
I don't know if he's 40. I think he might be like 35.
Yeah. Okay, he is... I can't do the math. He's 32 right now. Okay, so...
Gosh, he looks 35.
But okay, yeah. Wow, look at that face.
Yeah, but he's a bigger dude, and he's had leg issues.
He's a big guy with very long injury history.
Yeah.
I mean, one of his nicknames listed on here is Street Clothes. So, whoo!
That was... Wait, Ben Simmons that one year? Oh, gosh, that was more Street Clothes.
Also, Wilt Davis, really? Really?
Yeah, because I guess the nickname Wilt, like Chamberlain. So like that kind of makes sense. Because in his heyday, AD was he was
awesome.
He was that dude. But like
Unibrow, the Brow, AD, Ant, Fat Man, Street Clothes, and Wilt Davis. These nicknames are really something.
They are. But here's one underrated thing that people I don't think are talking about, but I think will come into play. I hope the kid can handle the pressure. Cooper has immense pressure. Like think of it this way. Those players like Tatum and those guys, they came to a team that wasn't expecting a whole lot. And then like organically grow in the upwards trajectory.
Yeah.
You got fans who are pissed off, canceling season tickets left and right. You gave away the best player in the league, and you're placing with sorry to sound like maybe like racist or whatever, a white dude, a plain white dude. Some might see as overly hyped white dude, and if he does not perform above like multiple all-star appearances and all that stuff, they're gonna crucify this kid.
Yes.
If you don't come close to matching what was just given away, they're gonna mentally beat this kid down. And I hope he can handle it. But they have created an environment that's the margins, it's a thin line right now. Of this being a big success or a complete and utter disaster.
Well, just like with AD and the fan base, it's dating somebody who's very obviously still hung up on their ex. And so you feel like you're being measured up against someone else who's not here every day.
And he didn't choose that.
Yeah.
It's being chosen for him.
Yep.
So it depends on how forgiving the fans are going to be. And last time I checked, professional sport fans are not forgiving.
And they're not,
especially if you trade away a generational talent for essentially nothing.
Yeah, that's what makes me sad. Is I feel like Dallas, and I guess this is just fan behavior, but like Dallas fans, I think were onto something with the protests and with the like, we are done and we're not supporting the team anymore because this is bullshit. And I feel like a lot of them are going to come back now. And that pisses me off because it doesn't change anything about how wrong that was. Just because, again, like, if you... I
don't know if there's going to be as many fans you think there's going to come back for a Cooper Flagg.
Again.
I'm sorry, is Cooper Flagg here Luka Doncic way up here.
Okay, so remember the last episode we had the metaphor about the guy who is dating this amazing or was married to this amazing woman, right? He just breaks up with her for no reason, and then stubs his toe.
He has like Murphy's Law,
loses his job, the stock market
his
crashes.
tooth.
Yeah, and so he's like homeless and has no job and is ugly, and she's like doing great for herself. Okay.
Oh gosh, he still had the house the last time we painted that scenario. He's homeless now?
Yeah, he lost his job. He doesn't have anywhere to go.
That escalated even worse.
Doesn't have health insurance.
Ooh. He got that Cobra insurance.
Maybe he's in Canada. No. But okay, so the next morning the guy wakes up and he bought one lottery ticket the night before, and he wins the lottery and gets a like $50 million jackpot. But then, does that change? I mean, obviously it changes his life going forward. Fair enough. But does that change anything about like how stupid he was before that, leading up to that point? Like,
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. You literally traded you literally traded a European LeBron James for a broken down AD and a high pick. Who in turn,
well, not even that, because think about it this way:
decent Cooper Flagg.
They got that pick because they were trying to win this whole year. They were not tanking. They made the play-in, got bounced, and then were thus in the lottery, and
then able to leapfrog Charlotte somehow.
And that's how they jumped. That is the chain of events that led to this.
So like that pick that they got, is that what got Cooper Flagg? Like did they get a pick as well, like from that trade?
No, that was their own pick.
Oh, well,
they had a 1.8% chance at the number one pick.
Jeez. I feel like that was the Bulls' chance when they got like Derrick Rose or something. So,
which I mean, it's not 28-3, but it's still pretty inexplicable.
Yes,
I still think the most inexplicable thing that's probably ever happened is the 27 threes.
I think I still have that highlight saved, and you just see the numbers of the Warriors like just go up and up and up, and you just see the score of the Rockets just stagnate. It goes up incrementally, but the Warriors just like slowly just like bypass them. It's just great.
Somebody, and obviously we don't really know, but I remember somebody like attempted to like put some math to the probability of like an NBA team doing that, and it was like 1 in like several million.
Well, they hit the wrong lottery there.
So I'm just saying if you want any proof that we're in the darkest timeline, we're in at least the darkest of several million timelines.
Oh my gosh. But honestly, I still don't think Dallas is going to like come out better on the other end. No. Even if Cooper Flagg is like lives up to the billing, they're not building towards anything.
Nope.
And I don't have confidence in this franchise to do so.
Nope. And again, like, whatever, Mark Cuban's whatever, but I mean, it was also Donnie Nelson. It was all
Don Nelson,
the old guard executives that were there that Nico Harrison kind of forced out one at a time.
Dang.
And
Mark Cuban.
And again, so
because none of this would happen if Mark Cuban was there.
One of the other things that's happened since that last recording is the McMahon article about it came out, and
Vince is in this?
No, Tim McMahon, the better McMahon.
Oh, yeah, true that.
And again, like the Mavericks are his beat, so he, this is the dude with all the sources on this.
Tim McMahon, did he like go on PTI or something?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is he wrote a book about Luka that was like scheduled to come out like a month or two after the trade. So he had to like emergency write like a final chapter covering the trade.
Ouch.
But anyway, he wrote a very long article about this whole thing and the sort of like fracturing of Luka's camp and the Mavs. And it is like, Nico just kind of like forced out all the other people that were in Luka's camp like one at a time.
Oh my gosh, it's like it's like a Jason film. It's like one at a time, just like
Yeah.
just acts.
Yeah.
I think I just hit the mic. Whoops.
One of them made the mistake of like taking the shower one morning and then
Yeah. Yeah. That's Psycho.
Yeah. That's different movie altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't know. This whole thing is stupid. I'm so done with all of it.
I will root for Cooper Flagg's development, but I'll root for the downfall of the Mavericks because they.
I guess maybe that's like if you were a nicer person, that's what you'd root for. Is Cooper Flagg is awesome, but the team has like no depth, so it's like Luka's early years, where they're struggling to find somebody to pair with him. But then eventually he just leaves. He like forces his way out via trade.
Yeah.
To the Celtics.
Yeah. Let's manifest that right now.
And he's the young guy next to Tatum, who's in his 30s at that point.
Yep. I'll tell you one thing. Around the Horn, tomorrow, May 23rd, 2025, after 23 years, Around the Horn does their last ever episode. Tony Reali, bro. Like, this makes me just think of like what ESPN, what we grew up with ESPN being, with all those shows and stuff, like great, the awesome shows, like, you had like, I watched it like sometimes Around the Horn, because there was a point where I watched them and PTI like back to back. I
used to watch it every single day,
man. And then like New Blood, like Mike and Mike in the morning, when you got tired of watching the same old highlights over and over again. But like, think of like the heyday of ESPN. Like you had all these like, you had like these older white guys like Charlie Steiner and like I think Bob Lee was there.
Yeah, Bob
and
Lee,
then Stewart's what's his name? Dan Patrick. And then you bring in like this brother like who was like, not known like at the time, but then he really let his name known soon after. And
give me all three of these.
The late great Stuart Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, but you had all that, the sports reporters with John Saunders.
Sunday mornings.
Yes.
I was usually not up early enough for that.
Yeah. But then you go from that to now ESPN is like Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee.
I hate it.
I like Pat McAfee, but like just seeing where ESPN used to be and now where it's at now. It's like it's become its own meme now.
Here's the thing about Pat McAfee. His fucking dedication to like carrying water for Aaron Rodgers is what pisses me off.
Oh yeah, I don't like that. But I like how a punter just became got his own show and rolled that into like a crap ton of money. And apparently he's a good worker in the wrestling ring.
Yeah.
He put on a couple matches and was decent at it. Yeah. So like I like it that he kind of like the butthole that just talks, he's like as if like, he's kind of like the good jerk that you root for that has a podcast and becomes successful. He's kind of like that guy. He's a guy I will have a beer with. But him aside, I think he's cool. Yeah. Minus a couple things, like i.e. the one with stuff with connection with Aaron Rodgers. But ESPN is just basically an oversaturation of like Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
With some other people sprinkled in, but it's essentially become the Stephen A. Smith network. And we went from that to what we have now. Because things now are just migrate more to the internet, or just other people who used to be on ESPN are just spread out to all these other networks and are doing their own thing or doing, other better things. But like seeing the shows, the lineups that we grew up with, and then seeing something like, I thought like this show was keep going on for like a, much longer, honestly. Like seeing Around the Horn, I feel like you could never run out of content. I mean, you basically take the sports current events and you have four guys who were journalists, and just, go Around the Horn and just a competition. But that's ending. Like that show basically writes itself.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think it's
plus Tony Reilly muting people is great, and I'll miss Woody Page as well. Woody Page. remember First and 10 when it was cold pizza.
Oh yeah, they'd have Woody on. Yeah, no, that's what it was. Woody and
Stephen A. No. What? No, it was.
It was at first they had Woody and Skip.
Yeah,
and they would debate, and then they had Stephen A. debate Skip, and obviously that was like, I don't know.
Was that?
I don't want to call that lightning in a bottle, but it was something that clearly made people's made serotonin release in people's brains.
Well, did that start the whole the
embrace debate?
Yeah, yes. Start the whole debate landscape of just everybody's doing it now.
Takes. You gotta have takes.
You gotta have the takes.
But
throw some spray some LeBron in there, and you got a great show.
Yeah. But I just want to say so two things. I in high school, I would watch. I don't know. I watched a show on TV, so I would watch. I basically just had ESPN on all day. So I would have, there was Morning Sports Center.
Yep.
And then it was Mike and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably not remembering the lineup correctly, but I remember there was a slew of afternoon shows.
Yep.
One of which was Around the Horn.
Yep.
Then I think it was immediately followed by PTI.
Yes, that's true. And then 6 o'clock Sports Center.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon.
Yeah.
And
don't forget Tony Kornheiser.
Yeah, and Tony, yep.
Yeah.
And
I'm forgetting Olbermann had a show.
Yeah, Olbermann had a show.
Ooh, I think that was in the evening, but still, Olbermann was pretty awesome.
He came back. He went into politics for a while and then came back to ESPN.
Oh, he did politics?
Yeah.
Dope.
There was that. Yeah, there was 6 o'clock Sports Center. I would then flip over to NFL Network to watch NFL Total Access with Rich Eisen at 7.
Oh, Rich Eisen.
But here's the thing. So that was cable television. These sort of halcyon days that I'm describing were 17 years ago. You know what I mean?
TV has changed, man.
I went to college and I still watched ESPN a little bit in college. And I guess when I was home on the summer and stuff, but pretty much by the time I was graduating and it was the summer where they were all shows are going to be about Tim Tebow all day, every day.
Thanks, Skip.
That I just didn't watch as much anymore. And then I really, over those years, most other people, migrated to YouTube and other internet things. And I haven't had real cable television in, I don't know, 10 years at this point, at least.
I mean, and plus, that's when other networks start picking up the slack on sports, because then you had CBS Sports, then NBC's got their got their major city branches and all that stuff. Yeah. So NBC caught up, especially when they got Sunday Night Football and all that.
And the thing is, all those networks aren't at the disadvantage of one having to have only programming about sports 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also not at the disadvantage of a large percentage of their paying customers don't ever use their service.
Yeah.
Because they were included in basic cable
for the upcharge
packages, and they were upcharged.
Yeah.
And so when people started canceling their cable, their revenue was just going in the toilet.
Yeah.
And I mean, they still exist, but who watches TV now? Old people, pretty much.
I mean,
and they mostly watch Fox News. So,
it's so weird just seeing just makes me wonder, how our parents were when they saw shows that they grew up watching, they thought would be here for a long time, and then eventually get overtaken by new school or, a changing entertainment climate.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our stuff. Mike and Mike in the Morning has been gone for years now.
Yeah.
And
we talked about that in our first episode.
Yeah. And then I don't know when the Sports Reporters was canceled, but
we also talked about that in one of our recordings.
Yeah. So the domino. So I'm sensing a trend here. As we've been doing this podcast, we've been chronicling the dominoes, each of those dominoes falling, and this is just another one. And I feel like this is like one of the few like dominoes left before it's just like now it's just like ESPN just feels like unrecognizable.
Yeah. And even SportsCenter now, SportsCenter, if you watch when the games lead into it, it's not really the same format that it used to be. It's just Van Pelt now.
Yeah, I like Van Pelt.
And he's awesome, but it's not the same.
You got bad beats or like down to bets now.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's all
gambling.
It's all this gambling shit that I hate. And
all the money. That's what it's at.
And it's him, and there's not two anchors like there used to be.
Because remember when they had Jamel Hill and Michael Smith.
Yeah, I remember when they gave them the 6 o'clock Sports Center, and that was kind of a disaster. Yeah. Which is sad. I liked them both. I thought they were great.
They were great, but I just don't think ESPN knew what to do with them. Because I think that was when things really started shifting on the horizon of cable television, and they were like they had a little late for the party at that point.
They had Numbers Don't Lie. That was their show that they did together, and they were great. They had great chemistry on TV.
But it was like during a time like when people were in school and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I used to watch that sometimes. That was kind of towards the end of my ESPN watching. Yeah, they started another show, His and Hers.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was super fun. Their podcast was really fun too,
man.
And they had they had like a lot of other up and coming people at ESPN on their podcast. It was like they had Carrie on sometimes, Carrie Champion. They had
Carrie Champion, yep. But yeah, it's amazing just seeing it's like bittersweet seeing all this stuff just the landscape just changing around us becomes like television, what we grew up with. And everything eventually comes to an end in television.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you have like a great run because sometimes shows don't know how to let go, i.e. SpongeBob, i.e. The Simpsons. But imagine if Seinfeld kept going or The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kept going.
Or Friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, it's sometimes best to go out on top or just go out as a zombie. So it does your two options as a TV show.
Yeah.
So, but 23 years, that is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
I miss Tony Reali. He seems like a genuinely good dude. Not to mention his paper tosses, man, which is on point.
Yeah. That was always my favorite.
Yeah, man.
But no, and I mean that's we as time goes on, we increasingly identify more and more with media.
Yeah.
And so that becomes our hallmarks of how and athletes to an extent how we mark the passage of time.
Yeah.
The guy, the Brady retiring, and we're like, oh my God, it was 20 something years.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now because nowadays, the media and the sort of life cycle of media where it gets created, used, and then immediately disposed is so much faster, and it's just accelerating more and more and more to now all the videos are 15 seconds long and they're immediately forgotten the second they're watched.
Yeah.
They go viral for a day.
Yeah.
And then I was watching some lady on Twitch the other day, and it actually bummed me out a little bit because I was like, oh man, I'm really glad that my channel is not successful at all because I don't have to worry about shit like this.
Yeah.
But I think she was talking about Claire Obscure, but she was like, yeah, so when a game comes out and it catches the algorithm like that,
you gotta get it.
You have to plan to be streaming it 12, 14 hours a day for that first 3 days. Because once that passes, nobody cares anymore.
It's you have a 90-some% chance of winning it.
And it's that's people's attention spans now.
Gosh.
They care about something. It's funny how even sports like basketball are trying to trying to condense things down because baseball ran into this, right? They had to have a pitch clock because they were the games are too long. And
but it's baseball. It's supposed to be long.
And people who are used to watching 15-second videos and getting something out of it are not going to sit down and do anything for 4 hours. Anything ever. They're not even going to have sex for 4 hours.
If they can, more power to them. My God. Better drink some water or Pedialyte in between. Damn.
But you know what I mean? Even things that you are highly motivated to do when your attention span is that fucked, you're not going to do anything for 4 hours.
Man. Shoot, man. That's crazy.
I don't even think they sleep for 4 hours.
Some people cannot sleep for 4 hours and be somehow functional. So
yeah. I'm half kidding. But like,
yeah. I get what you're saying.
And I don't know.
Everything's changed, bro. And also,
although it is funny that like the one exception to that seems to be podcasting, because it's like totally cool to like have a podcast that's like an hour and a half. Ours are like 2.5 hours, but you know. Look, the tables have turned. Remember when ESPN was like trying their hardest not to like, go lean more into the internet? They literally had to like seek out and poach a guy from YouTube and put them under their banner. Yep.
So McAfee was playing 4D chess.
Yep. And you have companies like Barstool who, made their money on the internet by, literally like courting the eyeballs of the literal worst people to walk the earth.
I thought that was Twitter.
That too. Or,
But yeah, so what does it mean for like journalism now for sports?
I don't know. Twitter exists, so we don't need journalists, right? Like the athletes can just talk to us directly. We don't need like beat reporters.
Oh, that hurts to hear.
Or I don't know. They'll just publish articles in the Players Tribune. I don't even know if that site still exists.
I don't know either.
It was like a fine site, but there was some cool stuff on there. But then it also, because that's the thing, like no professional athlete is a professional writer. So there's people behind the scenes that are like helping them craft these pieces, and sure, to varying degrees. Just like, when a famous person writes a book, they have somebody that actually writes the book. That kind of thing. And that's fine. Like, whatever. Those were still interesting and compelling. But, they dipped into like these sort of just cynical branding exercises after a while. And it's like, that's not real journalism either.
Yeah. And then
LeBron James tweeting is not journalism.
No,
like
it's not. KD tweeting with his burner account. That's not journalism. It does provide the other journalists work, but
say that's what we call a first-hand source.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, the landscape continues to change in terms of sports news, journalism, etc. I'm just glad to be able to I'm glad to be able to see it though, see the conclusion of it, because it's just nice to see, shows, get their flowers, and they're gonna be like, really like they're gonna be really appreciated like long after they're gone. So yeah.
Things happen in seasons, things come and go, people come and go, and most things end eventually.
They do.
Even like things like the Sun.
Like the Sun?
And by the Sun, I mean the British newspaper. No.
Oh, I was going to say the Sun or the Phoenix Suns.
Well, that too. They're definitely ending.
Yeah. That sun ain't shining for a while.
Isn't that the funny thing in sports, though? Like, when things end, quote unquote, the team still has to, like, play games the next year.
Yeah.
Like, they don't stop.
Yeah.
So they just have to be terrible. They just have to bite the bullet and be terrible.
I mean, that's just the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah. But the only other thing I was going to point out is, hey, you know what? Here's where some good journalism is. Go fucking read Defector, founded by the people who quit from ESPN. The entire staff of not ESPN. Wow. Founded by the entire staff of Deadspin that quit.
It'd be funny they went from ESPN to Deadspin to Defector.
No, they definitely have made their bones like making fun of ESPN all these years.
Nice. They were ahead of their time.
But it is funny because, like, I got into Deadspin because of, like, the funny, cynical, weird stuff. Like, the...
Joe Burrow's butt.
Yeah. And, like, the other thing, or, like, the video of, like, the guy saying Steph Curry's wrist, it's gotta get stiff from jacking it that many times. And stuff like that. But then, there's also, like... the lady that they have on staff who like destroys everything inside of herself, reporting on like every single like sexual assault case in sports.
I remember you talking about that.
And like, I make a point to read her pieces whenever they get published and it makes me very uncomfortable. But like, that's journalism.
Yeah,
like, somebody's out there doing that work and actually putting themselves through all that crap. To tell that story. And they do all kinds of other cool stuff too. And they and that's a site, and they have like made their own stable business. It's employee owned. I very proudly subscribe to it every year.
That's good.
And help them maintain their business. So that sort of thing is possible in the modern landscape. No, they're never going to be as successful as Barstool or whatever, but they also have morals.
Yeah. I mean, like, it just depends on how you define success, though. Is it money or is it integrity? Is it a combination of
I guess,
the two?
if you define success as like producing work that like you'd be proud to show your grandkids, then yes.
Yeah.
Instead
Success
of like, here's some pictures of these hot college girls we found. That's the kind of shit that gets published on Barstool.
Oof.
We're super gross. By we're, I mean Barstool, not us.
Ugh. This is just going to be a branching from the last one I did. The last one was, find the helpers. This one, it kind of like I was listening to like the episode. I forget what number episode it was, but it was like "We Dish You a Merry Christmas." That was
episode 19.
Yes, it was like make time for yourself. This one here, I think, is relevant here. Take care of yourself. Last one we had find the helpers. This time is take care of yourself, as in help yourself.
Be your helper.
Yes. And I say this because, speak on experience, we live in an age where there's a lot of bad news in all these different outlets and sites, and in the age of like, I'm just like I'm not calling one out like more than the other, but like you got your YouTube, you got your Reddit, you got your Twitter, you got your Fox News, you got anything that can spit out news and stuff. Be careful, like vetting what you look at, because part of taking care of yourself it's like having a well-balanced diet, having like knowing when to having your meats, your fruits, your vegetables, and all that stuff. There's a lot of junk out here. The sugars and the starches out here in the in the Twitter sphere and then all these other news outlets.
The carbs.
Yes, a lot of it. There's a lot of junk out here that doom scrolling exists for a reason. This case is like vetting what you look at and being careful how much you ingest mentally, because as part of taking care of yourself, being careful what and how much you put in your body, because me on experience, doom scrolling, it doesn't make me feel very good about myself or the world and all that stuff. And it just beats you down and pummels you down, when instead I could be like, having an apple, like, hey, maybe reading a good book, or, hey, I recently tried to get back into gaming. And thank you. You mentioned Claroscuro earlier, playing like Claroscuro that everyone's raving about. And hey, I want to see for myself, and spending time with family and friends, like doing the stuff like, and also maybe just sometimes just, in that episode, sometimes just doing nothing is productive. I know you talked about the struggles of like, hey, if I don't put something down like on tape, or, be productive on like my projects or something, then it feels like I'm failing or, missing out on opportunity. But here it's sometimes maybe you just need to like sit down and do nothing and just decompress and just let the time and let life just slow down for a little bit. Sometimes maybe you just gotta take out your guitar and just play it. Maybe you just gotta take like a nice long bubble bath. I don't know, whatever. Sometimes maybe take a good walk or whatever helps get you your spoons, whatever helps make your spirit light, whatever helps improve your mental health, your physical and your mental health.
Yeah.
Taking that self-care. I remember there was like an episode of King of the Hill when Luann was like so like fed up with her roommates and stuff. And she was asking her Uncle Hank what to do. And he was like, you need to find your own lawn. And she's like, what the heck does that mean? And she found like an activity, like she found like a hobby of like, doing pool maintenance or something. And she like took like as an escape from like the chaos and to put her energy in somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I feel like the self-care is like taking your spoons and taking your sanity and put it in where you'll get something back. Putting those spoons in and sacrificing your sanity for like posting that's like, talking about politics or like anything that's like, that's going to make you come out worse in the end. Not a great strategy. Well, it just leads to like, yes, being aware of what your surroundings is one thing, but it's another just getting absolutely engulfed in it.
Yeah.
And I've been part of that and I still fight through that. And it is like a negative self-fulfilling prophecy that just only makes things worse in the end. So that's where the self-care just really comes into play and just do what you love and do things that like will, I guess, improve your situation or make you better, or like asking yourself, is this thing improving my overall state, improving like my life? If not, maybe I need to take a break from this and then try to do something else that's going to bring me better joy and yield more positive results than what doom scrolling will do. Because a lot of the stuff on the internet and stuff in general is cancerous. So
yeah,
stay away from the junk food. Focus on you.
So when I was a kid, when we were kids, and I talk about my dad a lot. This is one from my mom.
Ooh.
This is some wisdom from my mom. She had this thing that was like, basically like, think of your mind as a stream.
Yes.
And be mindful of what you put in your stream. And like, I didn't really, like, I kind of understood that as a kid, but like in my mind, it was like, oh, okay, I probably shouldn't watch like R-rated movies or whatever, like in my very like kid sense.
That's the kid logic right there. Yeah. It's like, stay away from sins.
But as I got older, it took a long time for that to really like matriculate. Hey everyone, Dan here, checking in with another DVD fact check. This is kind of a silly one. The word I used there, matriculate, is not a word. That word does not exist. I may have been thinking of the word matriculate, but even if I was, in context, it literally makes no sense because the actual meaning of matriculate is to enroll in a college or university as a candidate for a degree, according to dictionary.com. Apparently, it is also used in Scottish heraldry. Neither of those things make any sense here. So there you have it. Wrong word, wrong context. This has been Dan with another very silly DVD fact check, reminding you, as always, that if you fact check, you are being biased. Percolate, I think is the word I was looking for.
There you go.
It's time for the percolator.
I was thinking that same thing.
Yep. No,
that song had a sick beat too.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
It took a long time for that to percolate.
There you go.
It's important to know things. It's important to have knowledge. knowledge.
Knowledge.
But like
Lamborghini here.
You also owe it to yourself to not spend all of your free time intentionally exposing yourself to things that upset you.
And I'm speaking to myself because I would do that.
You're just going to spend all of your time being upset.
Yep.
And
in the long run,
yes, there absolutely are things that exist in the world that you should be upset about.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of stuff, man.
If you're just like, I don't know, if you're just upset constantly, then it becomes like powerlessness.
Yeah.
And it becomes fatalistic.
Yep.
And then you're really not going to do anything about it. So what's worse? So yeah, that's really, and if your mind is your stream, like an animal dies and is rotting in the stream, right? Like, and you try to drink water from downstream of that, what's going to happen? You're going to get sick. Yeah. But that's very, very good advice. And that was advice that existed before the social media era. I think it's just way worse now.
Social media is the bane of evil. And I don't care like what side, what side of the fence you fall on. Like too much of like something that angers you, just it doesn't help you or anybody around you. But
even like past doom scrolling, like I definitely have had times where I've fallen into the rabbit hole of like reading subreddits of people who agree with me.
Yeah, you try to get the affirmation.
But who are so fatalistic that it's just other people being clinically depressed around you. And yeah, you can't. Like that'll also kill you.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because I would try to seek affirmation, of like, hey, of how I think, and sometimes it's like that could be. It's like okay, it gives like that little like dopamine hit of like, yeah, that feel good feeling, but then maybe like might see a bad comment and that brings you right back down. Or you have like you see the affirmation, but like it's probably not from it's probably from an extreme source that you like. I don't know. That's pretty questionable. Probably shouldn't be here either.
What I really mean is like if you have horrible fatalistic thoughts in your head, it's probably not a good idea to seek out validation for those thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of validation. But yes, absolutely. Your feelings are valid and acknowledge them and but like talk to your friends about them. Talk to your therapist about them.
Yeah.
Talk to your mom about them. Whoever.
Yes.
Like don't just find other, you know what I mean? Like don't just like dive into the underbelly of the internet. Like because you're not going to find anything good there.
Yeah. And so that's all part of like the self-care. It's just like
right.
Putting in focus on putting in the good stuff in your body.
Yeah.
Like focus on putting in the vegetables, like the stuff that will bring you joy. That will make your life meaningful and just overall just make your mind, body, and spirit like light as a feather, because nowadays that's going to be more important now more than ever, because it just seems like regardless of what where you lean at beliefs wise, it seems like anger is just a default with a lot of people, a lot more than what it should be. It's just like it's not really, it's like we're not a whole lot of agreeing to disagree. It's like either this extreme, that extreme, or that other extreme, or whatever. And it's any and everything. It ain't just politics. It's sports. If it's not sports, then hey, it's a recipe. If it's not this, it's anything and everything. That I remember seeing somebody. I was watching a YouTube video and someone like talked about this person just posted like an image on their Twitter of like, hey, me and my husband just like, I think it was like them holding like a coffee mug or something. I was like, hey, me and my husband are just, sitting here, enjoying a coffee in their backyard or something. That was it. And people were talking them for just them being in their backyard. Oh, you think you're that good? Well, some of us have to work and stuff. Oh, it must be good for you to do that, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're just sitting and enjoying life, and then people just came in and yucked their yum.
Those are people, so here's the thing.
And they did the most inoffensive thing and it somehow became offensive.
One, that's the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just like how in the 90s we were promised the end of history, which was one of the most stupid things that I think anyone's ever conceptualized. We were also promised.
I thought that was 2012.
No, we were also promised that like the internet would like make everything just so much better. For some reason, the internet, because I think the idea, the thing that we were promised is if everybody sort of is able to have a voice on this thing, then like the good stuff will like bubble to the top and be the most popular. And it's like the opposite. And I realize this is getting into like cynical territory and I apologize.
No worries.
But I do want to say this. The whole point of that whole tangent was those people, the yuck your young people, do not engage those people.
Yes.
Because that's part of this thing too. That's part of self-care is not letting them draw you into their world.
There's been times where I've seen
they wake up every day and are like, how can I make the world worse? How can I make things worse for other people because I feel like crap? Those people like don't engage them. Don't again, like we remember from the early internet, don't feed the troll.
Yeah.
The people who come in and want to just upset other people for no reason, and that's become everyone's default mode now.
Yeah.
Those people, like, they get their jollies from that.
Yeah.
And don't give it to them.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times where I'm like, should I want a response for that? But what do I gain from this? Absolutely nothing. But a worser time. Because
we all fantasize about punching the bully on the playground and somehow that's going to like fix what we went through. It won't.
It won't. Because
if you punch them now, it won't. And if you punch them then, it won't.
Yeah. Because I think of it this way. So we go more into the internet. It was like, you're one person. If a person says something really stupid, it ain't going to just, you're not going to be the person that just, gives a response. And you're not gonna be the person that's gonna convince the person. You're like, wow, you know what? That stranger's right. I'm gonna change my ways. Right, yeah. That never happens. No. If anything, you'll grow more people coming after you. Yeah. And that's not good. Or you're just gonna have like this conversation with that same person that you just want out of. But internet side, just like it's from the internet to like just the outside world, just do your best, like AD with the block. Blocks, like try to block some of that negativity out and just focus on like what makes you and focus on what brings you joy in the midst of chaos. Because at the end of the day, in the long run, that's what's going to keep us sane. That's what's going to keep us refueled, rejuvenated to, continue to keep living and fighting for what we believe in. But we can't do that if we have ingested toxins that's all around us and then we ain't worth a dime.
Here's a callback. Find your coffee.
Yes.
Find the thing that makes you say, this is fine.
Yes. Great callback. Find your coffee.
And I will say for me, it is literally coffee sometimes. Like I show up at work and I am like a dead human being. Then I have coffee and then I can live again. It's
that episode of Dexter's Laboratory when you see like Dexter and Dee Dee's mom and dad just all like just dead to the world. And then they just take one step. Ding! Their clothes is like they're just magically into their regular attire and they're like just ready to just take on the world. But then when their coffee ran out, they were like freaking out.
Yep. It is true. That is definitely being an adult.
I'm gonna watch the episode before I go to bed tonight. That was a great episode. Also, the Muffin King. Dexter's dad was like psychotic, yo.
Also, omelette du fromage.
Yes, and let's not forget the Justice Friends with Major Glory, Val Halloran, and Braggable Grum.
Val Halloran.
And Dial M for Monkey.
Yep. Dial L for Rob Pelinka.
That dude's got like some secret sauce or so. I don't know. Like, I don't know who's people seeing that guy, but he just somehow doing his thing after these years. But yeah, but even like watching like an episode of Dexter's Lab, like if that brings you joy and like, you know, takes you away from like, you know, the bullshit for a moment, man, go for it.
Bro, I came home yesterday and I allowed myself to sleep for 14 hours and I felt so much better today.
There you go. That's how. Take care of yourself, man. That's all I say. Don't engorge yourself with the junk food that is like the internet or what's going on or like, you know, people being shit or just in general. Just be you, do you, focus on what's important to you, and you'll have that'll be a much better use of your time, and you'll come out better on the other end.
I've had a fun time. I did not think we had 3 hours worth of material.
And we always have 3 hours, at least 3 hours of material.
We do.
Yeah, always.
That's our secret
we
sauce.
thinking like, oh yeah, we might not have much content that we do. It could be a casual conversation, and a casual conversation is like 2 hours at least. So
It is. I love it. Wouldn't rather do anything else.
You got that right.
No, feel good about this one. I know it's pretty heavy on the NBA and pretty. We're just always heavy on the NBA now.
Until the literal kickoff.
I was gonna say until probably I don't know September 9th, somewhere around there.
Or like preseason when someone inevitably tears their ACL.
Yeah. Oh boy, let's not manifest that.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah.
What's the opposite of tearing your ACL? You magically have 2 ACLs.
Oh my gosh. So like the opposite of the Juan Belair?
Yeah.
No, the opposite is like, you know, was Antonio Brown just like trying to hurdle over the punter, but ends up kicking him in the face instead.
Yep. But you know, that was the wild story behind R.A. Dickey and his knuckleball was he was actually born without a UCL.
Wow.
And just somehow became a Major League Baseball player in spite of that.
How do you generate enough power, man?
I don't know. And I mean, you know, he had like an 80-mile-an-hour knuckleball in his heyday. Like, he really put some torque. Well, not torque, because the whole point is that it doesn't spin, but...
Wow. It just drops.
But he really put some juice on that thing.
That's amazing. DVDcastpod@gmail.com if you want to reach us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, we do. I mean, we have a Blue Sky, but like, don't bother because it's not active. I do not remember the last time I even bothered to check it, but we are quite active on YouTube.
Yep.
I want to start putting little shorts out of our recordings whenever there's something funny, and then have the little timeline scrolling by. We did that for the Big Yank, and that was pretty funny.
Eat our shorts.
Yeah, literally eat up our shorts. 'Cause, you know, it's a new media, it's a new millennium, and
oh gosh, millennium.
we have to you know we have to change with the times, and we have to adapt to like TikTok culture, and have clips for like people who can only experience things in 15-second increments.
While we have like, are people still using the O Town Road as like in the background or something? With Lil Nas X.
That's like 4 years ago. I mean,
more than that.
No, all we have to do is we have to get like a cute girl like dancing, but instead of like a viral song, it's us talking, and she's dancing to us talking. I think that'll blow up on there.
Remember like the generic like female voice, like, hey, this is what my boyfriend did for me. Like, here, he surprised me with this.
The weird TikTok AI voice, yeah. Finally, cosplaying Velma.
Oh my god, that voice just tickled me, bro.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's like so.
It's been embedded. I hate it's been embedded into my brain. I can't see TikTok or Reels without it now. It's just synonymous to it.
But
ooh, boy,
we're still working through new deviation notice tunes. It's very, very slow, but it's still going.
He's doing the damn thing, though.
Doing the damn thing. Anyway, any closing thoughts?
Be you. Stay true to you. Just take care of yourself. It's a crazy world out there. Be kind to others and love yourself. And remember, people out there care about you, and put one foot in front of the other, and no matter how hard things get, just do your best to go through. Just the only way out is through, and just keep pressing on. As my mother would say, just keep referencing Eddie Kendricks, who was a member of the Temptations, when he went solo, had a song called "Keep Trucking." So just keep on trucking, and just that's all I can say.
And you know what? Here's the thing: if you're here, you know this is a real niche thing that's going to be heard by a very small number of people. So if you're here, you know, and even if you don't know us in real life, if you're here, if you downloaded, if you took the time to listen to all of this and got through all of it, this is for you. We care about you. We may not know you, but we're doing this because we care about you, because we want to give you something to keep you less bored during your work days, probably where you're listening to this.
Yes.
And you know what? If literally nothing else, you have two dorks in the past talking into two microphones who are in your corner.
There you go. We care, and we're just gonna keep doing the shows like long as we can. And you know, remember, you are bigger than the problems that you face, and just keep on trucking, because you will make it out on the other side.
As long as the mics are hot, we'll be here.
Yeah. What's your line?
I think my actual line is, I wish I could hug you all, but I'm not gonna.
Someday he will.
Giving you a hug with my words.
Yes.
That doesn't really work, but anyway. See y'all later. Bye.
Anyway. I'd be like Tay Zonde. Remember they had that disclaimer that when he sung Chalk and Rain, he like steps away from the mic so he can breathe and then continue to sing. Classic YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Chalk and rain.
Steps aside.
Something dry and something in the rain.
And he actually spoke like that too.
Oh my God. James Earl Jones voice.
Man. Tay Zonde, man.
Yeah.
Did I mention in a podcast like Michael Jordan must probably did like a reverse Samson, and he just got better when he shaved his head?
Doesn't always happen. We're dorks. Or maybe we're geeks. I don't know.
We're both.
We're geek dorks.
Gorks. Ugh.
Sounds like a gork. Sounds like a monster you run into in like your next D&D campaign.
Yeah. Oh,
you come across 3 gorks.
There was a
what do you do?
There was a Dexter's Lab episode when he was like in this alien planet and he was in jail with this one like monster. He just kept saying gork, and he translated the word with like food, and that alien was trying to eat him. So gork meant food in that context. Oh, is that the one when we got like absolutely blasted by the Ravens?
That was when they got whacked by the Wavens. Wavens.
The Wavens.
They got whacked by those wascally wabbits.
That would have been better.